Hello, everybody. What a week we have had. It's been an interesting week, absolutely incredible week um, for the UK economy, and I don't quite know what to make of it at the moment. Obviously, everything's still quite raw, quite fresh in what's been going on. But what I wanted to talk about mainly this week or this live stream is what the main news has been the last couple of days is mortgage deals, which are increasingly getting scarce at the moment. And what I wanted to do is bring on the mortgage broker that I recommend. Unfortunately, he's a little camera shy and quite busy as well, so he was unable to join me this evening, which I'm a little bit sad about because I'm sure you'd get a lot of information from him, But he has produced like a little sort of write up in between his free time about what he thinks is happening and where he sees the market. And I think hearing that from a financial advisor will be better than people just speculating. And at the moment where mortgage rates are going up and mortgage deals are disappearing at the moment, and we will go through what's been going on and a couple of articles and stuff like that. But I think it's very important that we just sort of take a moment to sort of just see what's going on. I think this is what the property market's going to do. I think the property market is going to take a breath, take a step back. People are going to be maybe waiting just to see what the next couple of weeks brings. And if you're one of these people, let me know in the in the comment section below. But I'm sure you can tell by the tone of my voice, it's not as optimistic as it has been the last year. And if you've been watching this channel, I was saying last year that I couldn't see a crash happening at that particular time, and there'd be a correction. Whether this is the correction or maybe it's going to be worse than a correction. I know some people are commenting that it could be 35, 40% crash, which I think would be unthinkable, but again, not impossible. Let me know what you think is going to happen. I know a lot of people here, a lot of people in this community think it is going to crash big and are waiting. They're sitting on cash reserves and they're waiting for a crash to happen so they can strike. But as I was saying last year, when people were waiting for maybe this time this year, when they were thinking of buying last year, waiting for the crash, which at the moment still hasn't come. But what we have seen is interest rates go up. So the property is worth more money than what it was last year. And the mortgage is going to cost you more money. And every month that you waited, it has cost you more and more money since December because interest rates have gone up. And now what we're finding is that although you may want to buy the property, have the desire, the sentiment to buy a property, there aren't as many mortgage deals available right now. So we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over what banks have pulled deals and what the other banks have said. We'll go over some of the questions, some of the statements that my mortgage broker emailed over to me this evening, which he asked me to. Well, I asked if I could share, which we will do. And if you do have any questions that you want to get into me, which I can relay on to him, or if you want to get in contact with him about your borrowing needs, if you're coming up with a remortgage, if you're not a first-time buyer watching this and want some advice, then we can sort of go from there. But let's get some comments up. Thanks for listening to me sort of talk for a few minutes there, guys. Craig Carr, still no crash in sight, late. I don't know. I think at the moment, Craig, there's going to be this pause in the market because lenders will lend again. I think they're just seeing how the market, the financial markets, which they are a part of, react, assess the situation, and then bring out more products, whether they're laid out differently to what we're used to, whether the stress testing is different to what we're used to. I don't know. But I think at the moment, we're going to see a pause, a stagnant with house prices. And maybe they will drop. Maybe they will drop. Maybe they won't. Again, it's so hard to predict. Everyone that's been screaming there's going to be a crash, for the last 2 years, are now going to come out of the woodwork and say, I was right. But a broken clock is right twice a day, isn't it? If you scream something enough, you're bound to be right at some point. But you can only do what you feel is right and what you're experiencing yourself. And where I'm at the moment, I've just had my best sales months for a year. So September, and it's not even over yet, I've sold more houses this month than I did any month in the last 12 months. So from my point of view, there's still no crash going. There's not as many offers being tied up at asking price. There's some negotiations happening, but certainly there's not people coming in with 10, 15, 20% offers and owners are taking them just yet. That may change. That may change. Malcolm Hutchinson, cranked my numbers last night and this evening using Nationwide's calculator, and their increase today has knocked 10K off my affordability. Yeah, I think this is what the banks are doing. The ones that are taking products off the market is they're assessing what's happening in the world. Then they can bring out products which are more fitting for how the market is going right now. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Cool. Clack, clack, clack. How you doing? All right. Insane Thacker. I just wanted to say the Cisco were doomed. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. Hi, Mia Pay. How you doing? Ankit, hello. How are we? How are we? Good evening, Sylvia. Got quite a few people, which is great. Hello from Abaid. Hello, Ollie. Amar, how you doing? Good to see you, Lee. Bleak times ahead, but always a pleasure to tune into these. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll always turn up. And if I'm wrong and the markets do crash, I will still be here holding my hands up, because you can't put out content and not own it if you are wrong. But in the same breath, if I'm right, you're also going to hear it as well. So respect my game. How you doing? I think the real estate industry, or at least 90% of them, owe a big apology to all those who trust them over the last few months on that house market was going healthy and not just flattening a bit. But it hasn't gone down yet. Like I said, in my town, my district, we've had our best sales month, and this isn't vendors reducing their houses to get sold quickly, or new houses coming onto the market to under market value. There are still properties which we're getting 2 or 3 people offering on still, and some are still selling at asking price. I think owners are being more realistic with their prices, certainly in my area. But yeah, everyone's going to be experiencing different things, and there will be some people who lied about the property market, and some people have been lying that there's a crash happening a year ago. So all you got to do is take what you hear and base your decision on what you want to do, not what I say, not what anybody else says. You're the one that be held accountable at the end of the day. Hello, Albie. How you doing, my friend? MA, welcome back. Welcome back. While the new deep inside about the storm was coming, no one knew what was coming. No one knew. Good evening, Alex. How you doing, mate? I guess it's a relief for people that have already submitted. Yeah, yeah. So it's it's going to be a lot of relief for people. If you've got your mortgage off and your mortgage application in, then chances are you're all good for your mortgage. So anybody looking now is probably going to find their mortgage choice severely limited at the moment. We're going to go through how many mortgage deals, if you don't know, have been pulled off the market the last couple of days. Is buying will crashing? No, there'll always be people who need some help buying a house. I'm still going to be here. Still going to be here. Hi there, Chris. First time catching the live stream. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Thank you for joining me. Great fact. Thanks for having you. It's grand to wait for a crash, but like 2008 crash, it's only good if you can actually get the loan, which you might be able to. This is it. This is it. And this is why I think the banks are taking their time rather than still lending. Well, they are still lending because there's still quite a few products out there. But banks are just reassessing what they can do for people. Because remember, banks want to lend money. It's how they get money in. You owing them money and paying interest sustains their business model. So if they pull all lending away, then their income stream is going to be massively reduced. But yeah, if it does crash and prices come down 15-20%, then you may not be able to get the mortgage anyway, if banks have continued to literally constrain the availability of mortgages. Wazza, do you think a complete fixer-upper is too much for a first-time buyer with no experience? It's the only way to can't see that. Only way to be lent enough money to buy an area I want. Okay, so if you can live in it while you've been doing it and you can learn how to do things and stuff like that, then I don't see that as a bad thing at all. You must question if, first of all, if you're buying the worst house in the best street, then chances are you're going to do well out of it. However, if you can find a property that you need rather than the one you want, you said the area that you want, is there another property which maybe doesn't need as much work in an area that maybe you don't want, but you're going to be seen happy there for the next 5 or 6 years? That could be something as well. But yeah, if it's gonna be a home and you're gonna stay there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, which a lot of people are probably going to be doing at the moment, then yeah, I don't see a fixer upper too bad. We bought this house as a fixer upper in a nice street, and we knew we were going to be here for years and years and years. So that might be certainly a good thing to do. Certainly a good thing to do. Hello, Paul. How are we? How are we? Esteban, hi Lee, just arrived. Could you please say hi? Say in 2 lines what exactly is going on. You helped me a few months ago to understand a few things. Happy to say that I'm exchanging contracts tomorrow. Oh, fantastic, Esteban. Congratulations. So at the moment, what we're seeing is mortgage lenders, banks are a little bit worried about the most recent budget, and the financial markets have reacted probably not in the way that the government were hoping. So banks have started to take away some of their products that they're offering people for buying houses. Okay, some lenders have completely withdrawn products. Some have withdrawn a certain type, and some have done nothing. So it's the economy's reaction to the latest budget, and as well as inflation. That's probably not 2 lines, that was it. So hope that helps. Hello, Milo. How you doing? Flip flop. Hello, hello. Chris, how offer should be looking to? Oh, fantastic, Chris. Excellent stuff. I'm guessing you got your mortgage offer and all those bits and pieces as well. So good on you. Good on you. Basic Surfer, welcome back. AJ, hello there. Hello there. Milo Vlogs. Is it time to negotiate down if one is in an agreed deal? It's a difficult one. Whenever you want to renegotiate, you have to be prepared to potentially lose that property. So if the seller does say no, are you still going to proceed with that purchase? So that's a bit of something you've got to think about before you decide to make that phone call to the estate agent. Is if the owner says no to my renegotiation, then am I still happy to proceed? If you're bluffing, if you like, and you're still going to proceed, then that's just going to lose any goodwill that you have between yourself and the buyer. Any trust, respect that you have will go in an instant. However, if you genuinely feel that you're paying too much money for the property, Milo, and maybe your surveyor's come back and said, I think it's not worth what you're paying for it, then you've got facts to go back with to the seller and say, look, this is what I think it's worth. This is what the surveyor thinks it's worth. We wish to renegotiate, but do have an end game in sight. As if they do say no, if you're happy to proceed or not, or you're happy to walk away. Because if you do have your mortgage offer now, Milo, and this property is perfect for you for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 however many years you're planning to stay there, as long as it's more than probably 5 years, then if this house is going to give you security of somewhere to live, and you can see yourself being there for a good few years, then it might be counterproductive to renegotiate, because the owner might decide to say no, put it back on the market, maybe get another buyer. That's worst case scenario. But if you're willing to risk that to save some money, then by all means you can go for it. I don't think it's too early, because there's a lot of press at the moment saying, has the government broken the housing market? All that sort of thing. So vendors are seeing that. It's whether they're going to react to it. Vendors are very quick to react to house prices going up by putting their house prices up. But when they start hearing news that house prices are coming down, agents as well as vendors sometimes are slow to react. So it's a strange old world at the moment. But yeah, it could be worth doing if you feel there's a chance that you can you'll get it. It depends how long you've been buying it, all those sorts of things. If things have gone quickly up to now, if you're due to exchange contracts soon, that can sometimes go for you and against you. It can look a little bit tacky, trying to renegotiate the price right on exchange of contracts. And if you do have to renegotiate the price, be very careful, because your lender may look at the loan to value, realize that it's different to what they've already offered you, and then may pull your mortgage completely. So there's a few things you need to think about, but that's, speak to your broker if you are thinking of renegotiating, just to see what the implications would be on your mortgage as well. No, even strange world we're in. Exactly that. Exactly that is a strange old world. It's a strange old world. So Chris had offer accepted in July and should be exchanging soon. 3.04 on a 5-year fix with 10% deposit. Freaking out a bit at potential negative equity after those 5 years. Personally, I think you are going to be paying off some of that. Providing you're on a repayment mortgage, obviously you are going to be paying a certain amount of equity off that loan each month, Chris. So, and you've got 10% sitting in it, as well as the 5 years of monthly payments, which half will probably be interest and half will be paying off your actual loan that you've borrowed. So you're going to have 10% plus any money you are paying off. So it'd have to be quite a drop in house prices before you need to remortgage. But if you are starting to see things not quite as they are towards the end of your mortgage, you can speak to your broker or your lender and see what can be done. But we'll get into that in a minute when we start speaking, when I get the notes from my mortgage broker. Mark, my house purchase is ongoing, but waiting on solicitors. My ones tell me that seller solicitors aren't responding, but I can't call them directly. How can I speed them up? Estate agent. You just need to put the pressure on the estate agent. They're going to be the ones which have direct contact, as well as your solicitor. But if your solicitor is not having any luck, then yeah, you got to just keep that pressure on the estate agent. If the property is actually occupied by the person you're buying it from, then maybe book in another viewing. And then on that viewing, you can say to the seller, look, my solicitor is not getting anywhere with your solicitor. Is there a reason? Is there a delay? Is there any way we can start speeding this up? But first thing will be the speaking to the estate agent, keeping that pressure on. And then if the property is lived in by the owner, booking a viewing and start having a one-on-one chat with them and try and get that up and running. Gav will fix it. We might need you in the property market, Gav. The market will not crash fast enough to notice it day to day or even week to week. Best judge of anything happens in the UK is what happens in America. We follow not long after. That's not a bad shout, actually. I mean, minor dips and increases, they happen on every type of industry. Finance, particularly, you have ups and downs, stocks and shares, currency, mortgage rates. So, yeah, we are quite tightly linked to America, which is why I think people are worried about the pound to the dollar ratio, aren't they? Thanks for taking ownership of your words. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm only human. I can only give my opinion on what's happening to me right now, and I share that with you. And many people have agreed, and many people have disagreed, and that's a market, isn't it? A market changes and is different from place to place. But yeah, if it does crash, then it crashes. I've said I think at the time when I've said it, it would be highly unlikely. But again, anyone can be wrong. Anyone can be wrong. You just got to make the right decision for yourself. Still waiting on the mortgage offer. Will the rate change for those that submitted the application before the current mess happened? That will depend on the lender. So if that product is still available while your application is going through, then you should be okay. But I'm not a mortgage broker. I say you got to speak to your broker to see what the chances are. I would imagine they will probably have a similar response. They'll probably shrug their shoulders. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm hoping they might be a little bit more informed than you. Ollie, got my valuation and survey tomorrow, and I'm slightly worried as I've agreed at slightly over the asking price. In what circumstances do you think renegotiating to a price is a smart thing to do? Well, if the let's read again. Agreed. If the valuation survey comes back that it's being downvalued, then you can then renegotiate the price. You can try and renegotiate the price. And I think if an agent does their job properly and speaks to the seller and say, look, we've got a great buyer here, first time buyer, they can get their mortgage offer providing the figures renegotiated to this amount, and the owner is wanting to move, not just needing to move, wanting to move, then you might have a good chance of having it renegotiated. But it just depends on their situation. They may have earmarked a certain amount of money to buy their next home or to pay off debts, etc. So it really does come down to individual circumstances as to whether somebody will accept a renegotiation. But if the survey does come back that it has been downvalued, then you've got the perfect reason to make that phone call and ask for a reduction and have your fingers crossed. Albie, waiting for the application to go into underwriting. What's the process since they also stopped demanding stress test? So the underwriter will basically gather all the information or get all the information that the broker's supplied, go through the valuation, any documents that you've supplied, and they're the person that will literally sign off on the mortgage. So if you get past the underwriting stage, you're going to be very, very happy because they'll then issue the mortgage. So underwriting is generally the last part, Albie, last part. Split my game. If a mortgage offer has been accepted formally in the previous month, do you think there's still a risk of a lender pulling it back before completion? Technically, I think if you read the small print, a lender can withdraw a mortgage offer at any point anyway. Very unlikely they should do it after they've issued you the mortgage offer. But I'd bet my mortgage that there's probably some small print somewhere to say that this offer can be revoked at any time. without any notice or reason. I'm pretty sure they'd want to cover their backsides for something like that. So yeah, I would think if you've got your mortgage offer out, then I think you should be okay, unless something massive, even more massive than what's happened over the last 3 or 4 days happens. Yeah. James, hi Lee, quick question. I filed source of funds from the form in the wrong lender. Sorry. Hi Lee, quick question. Filled source of funds form in wrong. Lender thought I was having 2 mortgages and declined it. Spoke to solicitor and they said they will try to recorrect. What are my chances? If it's a genuine error, James, and your solicitor can explain that to your lender or to your broker, then hopefully you shouldn't have any problem. But it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little difficult to, without knowing who you let. I can't really help on that, to be honest with you. Yeah, to leave that to your solicitor. But yeah, if it was a genuine mistake and it's just some crossed wires and everything else is fundamentally the same, then you should be okay. I'm hoping. Hi James, how you doing? I've not seen you for a little while, my friend. You was it in Brighton last time you was on the stream? Welcome back, mate. How'd you get on? Good to hear you again. Curly 360. Hi Lee, I'm 80% complete on selling my house, just waiting for buyers lenders valuation Monday. What do you think my buyers will pass? What do you think my buyers? Depends. If your property is a comparable property for something else that's sold recently, then you shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, it's a difficult one without knowing more top context, Curly. It's difficult to say. But if you priced your property correctly, then you should have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. If you maybe went a little bit higher and you maybe had 2 or 3 people offering you well over asking price, a surveyor may find it hard to justify the figure that they're buying. But if there's enough comparable evidence for the surveyor to say that your buyer is paying the right money for the property, then you should have no issues at all. Hopefully, I've got my fingers crossed. Come back next week and let us know. Taki, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back. How's the new home? Let everybody know. Okay, I'm looking to rent for a bit. I say, you got to do what's right for you. If some people want to step off the ladder and see what happens, then you got to do what's right for you, your life, your family, etc. And then you've only got yourself to praise or to blame if things do go one way or t'other. So, but no, a lot of people may be thinking doing that. Breaking the chain as well is always good. Very appealing to a buyer as well. Yes, Taki, very, very strange, very strange market and a strange week. James, we got a house and managed to go from offer to completion in just... Oh, that's fantastic news, my friend. Absolutely fantastic news. I hope you're happy in your new house as well. Hope you're happy. Hi, Lee. If your rate is fixed until the end of 2024, would you rather wait and see what the rate will be or pay early termination fees and tied now for 5? I think it's very similar to what was happening with the energy prices, wasn't it? Like, before they announced this help a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, do I tie myself in, because my energy run out in 6 days time, do I tie myself into a more expensive product now, knowing that prices are going to go up, so I'm less worse off than I would have been? But it seemed quite counterproductive to tie myself into a deal which was going to cost me more money and not save me more money, but in the long run it would have saved me. I don't know, but I think you just need to, you've got 2024 is you've got a year to see what happens, because you can start looking at remortgaging, I believe, sort of 6 months to a year before your deal runs out. Obviously, if there's any early repayment charge to pay, you can do that way before that. But yeah, I would probably wait, me personally, because you've got another year before you've got to start worrying about it. But speak to your mortgage lender. Speak to an independent mortgage broker. If you do want to speak to my independent mortgage broker, email me, lee@leeeverettproperty.co.uk, and I can put you in touch with someone who can help out. So yeah. So I'm not allowed to advise on mortgages, but if it was me, my opinion would be I'd probably see what happens over the next 12 months, and then you've got a year to sort out the mortgage. Cheryl, give us some advice. Hello, Cheryl. How you doing? Ollie, wait for the survey valuation to come back, and if it's been devalued, then renegotiate based on exactly that. Agreed. Don't want to lose property. That's it. If you don't want to lose it, then not asking for a reduction means you won't lose it. If you do ask for a reduction, there is, as I'm sure, who was it? Be interesting to know, Curly, if your buyer wanted to renegotiate on your property, how would that make you feel about the buyer? Let us know, because obviously Milo is thinking, of possibly renegotiating. It'd be good to hear from a homeowner who's currently selling how they would react if their buyer did decide or did try to renegotiate. It's yeah, be good to know somebody's side of the story. I expect a lot of your recent deals to either fall through or buyers wanting to renegotiate. I for sure would not be wanting to pay peak prices when the market only way now is down. I mean, potentially, Craig. Potentially, this is it. I mean, if any of my buyers came to me asking for a reduction based on what's been said in the news and in the economy, with the amount of deals I'm making right now, I would probably advise my seller to, if they didn't need to move, maybe to sort of hold fire, because the month I've just had, or my office and my company have just had, has been a fantastic month. Whether next month that would be the same, but October is generally a very good selling month for my company, probably one of the best. So if September does, October does better than September, then I'll be very, very happy. But yeah, I don't think that I'm expecting many people to fall through or renegotiate. But if it does change, I'll let you know. I say every week, I'll let you know what's happening in my world and how it compares to yours. But at the moment, I'm agreeing a lot of deals. Not too much negotiation is happening. Some are a little bit bigger than others. Some are paying asking price. Some are getting some money off. Just depends on the owner's situation. But at the moment, I'm not expecting anything just yet. But if that changes, I'll be right here telling you guys what I'm experiencing. Not sugarcoating anything. I'll let you know. Esteban, I managed to get 2 months ago a 2.8 interest rate fixed for 5 years. Excellent. Would you say that's okay considering what's going on? I mean, that's the mortgage you got, so that must have been the best that your broker could find you. So it's based on your individual circumstances, Esteban. So if that's the mortgage you got and your professional broker advised you to go for, then that is that is good for you. That is good for you. You're buying cash money. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. You're going to be. You gave your home buyers report. If you'd done your home buyer survey, that would have given a valuation. So that would have maybe given you an indication of what the value is. So if you've had that back and it agrees with what you're paying for it, then all you've got to try and renegotiate with is what's going on in the news, and hoping the seller has seen that and wants to maybe do a deal with you, but they might not have to. But being a cash buyer, they may not want to lose you, Milo. They might not want to lose you. My buyer's paying top whack. He's a neighbour with a personal connection. Can loan to value become an issue, even though we're 80%? I mean, if he's paying, a house is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, Curly. So your house is worth more to your neighbour than what it would be to Milo, for example, or Esteban, because they may not want to live or buy your house because it's next door to them, because it won't be next door to them. So if they're paying more money for that, then what you might find is if the surveyor can't find comparable properties for the price your buyer's paying, then they may downvalue it. And it's up to your buyer and you whether they find the extra money to make up for it, or you reduce your price, or you meet somewhere in the middle. Can't you give it a like? Yes, please do. I know it's a bit of doom and gloom, but yeah, if you can give the stream a like, I've not done a little check yet. We are at 27 likes and 86 people viewing. So if you are logged in on the YouTube dashboard, please do give the stream a like. That will help more people see it. Bob James, this is the beginning of an absolute financial economic bloodbath. To those who thought the 90s were bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. A lot of people watching this probably don't remember the 90s. I vaguely do. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see interest rates keep going up. Highly unlikely they're going to get to the 18, 19%, which we saw in the late 80s. But yeah, they are going to get higher. They are going to get higher. Hi, Emmett. How you doing? 35% crash. That's if things improve. I can't read that. Where are we? If things improve, what is coming will make the Great Depression look like a happy party. That's your opinion. I respect it, Bob. I respect it. Let's hope for a lot of people that may get repossessed and lose their homes, that doesn't happen, eh? Ollie, thanks, later, Cheryl. Find it interesting that you've been busy this month, as a lot of people are saying the market is already crashing. I know there's a specific one or two YouTubers that have been saying they guarantee the market's crashing, but I can't report that because I'm not experiencing that myself. If I had managed an estate agency where my deals were falling through, I wasn't selling anything, and my vendors were asking me to reduce their houses left, right, and centre, I would report that and tell you that's what's happening in North Essex or my part of North Essex, but it's just not happening yet. It may do, but at the moment, it's not happening. So I can't I'm not going to predict the future. I'm not going to predict the future, but at the moment, for where I am, and every area will be different. Southwest, for example, I think they're still going strong. Wales still going strong. So it's yeah, it's different. Jay thinks anyone buying now is crazy. Ask older people what it's like to live with big negative equity. Run for the hills. The thing is, right, if you're renting somewhere right now, if you are renting and you're able to get a mortgage and buy a house that you are going to live in for the next 5, 10 years, then and you know what your mortgage payment's going to be for the next 5 years or however long you can fix, or longer the better, I would say, in my opinion, not my advice, my opinion. Then I would do it. I mean, and thousands of you are doing it. Let's not forget that thousands of people a month are completing and buying properties. Your landlord's interest rate on their mortgage is going up. Okay, they're on interest onlys, so they can't change their mortgage from a repayment to interest only, like an option would be for a potential homeowner. My brother's 2-year fixed rate on his buy to let, which if you've been on the channel a little while, I do drop him in conversation every now and again, has his 2-year fixed rate ends next month. His mortgage on his buy to let property is about to double. And what do you think is going to happen to his tenant's mortgage payment, rental payments? He's going to have to increase it. He's going to have to increase the rent in order to make that property viable. If he doesn't, it's going to lose him money. It'll go on the market. He'll get way more than what he paid for it 2 years ago. Even now, with potential crashes, he's still going to get way more than what he's getting. So, if you are renting somewhere, have that in the back of your mind as well. That chances are, at some point in the near future or in the next year or so, that potentially your landlord's mortgage product is going to expire and his interest rates are going to go up, which means he or she be passing that extra expense onto you. I want to get into what my mortgage broker said. So I'm going to rattle off a few more of these and we'll get into it. Right. James, okay. No, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Anna, I've been watching these chats regularly. Thank you very much. Even though we have recently bought our first home, I love hearing success stories and also wish everyone here to manage to buy successful. What lovely words. Let's give a like for Anna. That's a fantastic thing to say. Fantastic thing to say. Really appreciate that. And a lot of love here. A lot of love. Thank you. Liam, what would be your advice for someone starting to save for first-time buy, Help to Buy or LISA? So Help to Buy, you've got to act in the next 4 weeks, because if you buy that, applications for that are expiring the end of October, I believe. Lifetime ISA, I think it's a decent thing. Like I say, you put money in, the government had a bit of money in, if my memory serves me right on that one. That's a decent way of doing it. But yeah, it's just save as quick as you can. You're going to get better interest rates in savings. I think some of the banks have started to pass that on now. So hopefully you'll get a better interest rate. But if you can afford to buy and you see the house you want, Liam, then find the quickest way of doing it. But if you don't need to buy and you want to wait it out and see what happens, if that need isn't there to buy right now, then you may want to wait and see. But it's entirely up to you. You're welcome, Curly. James, I'll let you know next week what the outcome is. Hopefully, I haven't messed up my mortgage. I'm sure you'll be fine. I've got my fingers crossed. I like to be a bit optimistic sometimes. Hello, Jock. How you doing? Obeyed, you are welcome. So this is a homeowner's reaction to if a buyer wanted to renegotiate. Initially, I would budge. I wouldn't budge. However, now I think about it because the expected crash is going to be more faster than first four. So if that's what you feel is going to happen and that buyer is in the right position for you, then you've got to do what's right for you and your finances. Hello, it's me. How you doing? It has been an interesting few days. Thanks for stopping by to catch up. We're at 99 viewers, by the way, guys. I think that's a personal best. So thank you so much for watching. Please get your questions in if you do have any. That would be great to sort of see some new people. So you think you'd be better off? Agreed. Yes, homeowner evaluation came back on the dot. Right. So your reason for renegotiating will be market speculation, I suppose, because you can speak to the estate agent to see if they're experiencing any people renegotiating. If they are, then in your area there might be something that's happening, so it might be worth doing. But yeah, just tread carefully. Well said, Lee, about the neighbour. The price seems comparable to me. Well, that's it. You would say that though, Curly. You're the seller. You would say that. Narrowbait. Don't scratch your nose when you say we're not going back to Can you see him going back to 80s or 90s? 18, 19%? Can you? I don't know. Taki, I believe you confused me with someone else. Says I haven't had any. Oh, well, so I do apologise. I do. That's Tarek I'm thinking of. Do beg your pardon. I made an offer last week for the first time. I was the highest, lower than asking price by 10K, but the owner is hesitant to accept. Well, they may rue to that decision, might they? They might rue that decision. Just let them know that your offer's still there if you're still interested, and until you find something else. Just keep it on the table. I think it's different as people have savings now. But I agree with that, Cork. That's a very valid point. Not everyone is in the same situation as what we were in 2008, where people were mortgaged up to their eyeballs with 120% mortgages, 100% mortgages, no savings, living hand to mouth with wages. So it's definitely a different market. The banks are in a different situation now. They have to have funds earmarked for bad investments and stuff like that, whereas they didn't have that in 2007, 2008. So the world is different. Things are set up differently, and many people would have been stress test if they got a mortgage 2-3 years ago, that if the base rate did raise to 3%, that people should be able to afford them. But obviously we've had higher cost of living increases as well. So hopefully we're in a better stage than what we were 15 years ago. Bloody hell. God, that's a long time ago. Some agents say they have 10% less on offers than they were last month. But they say so. Okay, so if whereabouts in the world are you, Taki? Yeah, it's different in different demand for properties and the availability of. I mean, my area is probably 40 to 50% of people don't require a mortgage to buy the houses that I do because they're downsizing, but the other half need a mortgage because they're buying somewhere bigger down my way, or porting, or buying their first home. So there will be different levels of demand from different types of buyers. So that it will fluctuate between different micro markets. So interesting time. So let us know where you are. Let me know where you are. Hello, I do remember you. Not sure if you remember me. I was purchasing a house listed as a 3-bed house, but the bank valued as with a loft room, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. I could be wrong, but I'm sure I had that loft room. But bank valued as a 2-bed, which we thought we would because there was no planning or building regs. But same, initially agreed a price at 415. I've revised and offer accepted at 3. Fantastic. That's great news. Great news. So that's the perfect where a bank have gone round and gone, hang on, it's not a 3-bedroom property. It's a 2-bedroom property with a loft room. We now need to price this property as a 2-bedroom property, and that's the price we think it's worth. So that's good for you. Well done. Well done. Okay, Hicks, hi Lee. At a stalemate with this purchase, and I want you to rip my hair out. Yep, ping me an email. You know it, lee@leeeverettproperty.co.uk. I'll nearly caught up with the comments, and I'll get onto what my mortgage broker is saying if that's what you want to hear. 109 people viewing. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you are new here, please hit subscribe. Please hit the like button. We're here every Wednesday talking about the property market. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'll be here. I'll be here. Jay, I read today interest rates are now expected to be 6.5 by next summer. I hope new buyers can afford around 8%. Yeah, so I think, if I remember rightly, people were predicting interest rates. The scaremongering sort of a few months ago was rates could hit 6%. I think people that were saying that probably thought it could happen rather than it will happen, where I think it's now turning more towards, do you know what, this could actually happen. Interest rates could get that high. So yeah, people will need to really sort of evaluate whether they're going to be able to afford very, very high interest rates. Atikir, hope I'm saying it right. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, please say hello so I can say hello back to you. Chrissy, thanks. By the way, now that I've caught you on a live stream, has anyone ever said that you like Stephen Mulhern? Yes, and not the first time on the live stream, actually, Chris. I do get Stephen Mulhern quite a lot. I think it's the bags under the eyes and the big forehead. I do get that, yeah. So thanks for bringing it up. It's been about a month since somebody last called me Stephen Mulhern on here. So cheers, Chris. It could be worse. I could be called somebody else. So that's great. Kay's got some advice. Hi, Liam. Don't get the Help to Buy if your purchase is outside London, as the maximum house price for government bonus is 250 grand. Good spot, Kay. I've been stung by this. Wish I'd opened a lifetime ISA as it's higher. Perfect advice there from Kay. Thanks, Kay, for that. Appreciate that. Hello, Aaron. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you back, mate. Curly, off out, guys. Great chat. Good luck, everyone. Bless you. Thank you very much for joining us, Curly. Have a good evening. Take us over in Birmingham. Up north, or north compared to me. Aaron Kidd, my contract is ready to sign, but I've been advised not to sign until the restrictive covenants are removed. Any ideas how that can take? If that's with land registry, that could be a good few weeks, Aaron. Depends if they can get it fast tracked. Most solicitors can let land registry know that a sale is running and ask it to be expedited quicker. So it could be a few weeks still. You can sign your contract; it just won't be exchanged until everything's all ready. So you can sign it and send it back to your solicitor. If you sign it, it doesn't mean that you're contractually obliged to now buy the property. It just means you've signed that contract in readiness, and your solicitor would exchange that contract once they've done all the legal paperwork and have confirmed you're happy to actually exchange contracts. Craig with a history lesson for us. For those of us who were too young, can you give us an idea? Oh, I'm going to give you a history lesson as to what happened in 2008 in terms of how long the market took to actually crash, and was there a specific day that when you just knew? Oh, blimey, it's 15 years ago. For me, when you start seeing those uh, images, I can picture the images of all these workers in London and America walking out of their massive buildings with boxes because they were just shut down or sacked, fired, or the company collapsed. I can't remember the exact date that was, but for me, that was when I felt, core, something's not right here. And then Northern Rock went. That's another one. Northern Rock, just yeah, people were trying to get their money out of Northern Rock, queuing up at cash machines and banks to get their money out because they heard Northern Rock was collapsing. That was probably when things started thinking, "Core, bloody hell, what's going on here?" For me personally, that's how I remember it. I thought we just caught up. Louise, how you doing? Hi, Lee. We're at the solicitor queries waiting for land registry search to come back. Oh, that's all right. So hopefully, you mean local search probably. Actually, I hope it'll be only a couple of weeks and you should be well on your way for some more inquiries. So excellent. A cozy. Hello, Lee. Been watching your channel, but the first time I've been able to join live. Great stuff. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you. We've hit triple digits. We're over 100 views. So thank you so much for everyone that's decided to join me. Our seller is buying a new build, and the developer has been sticking their raw. Yeah, they always do. They always do. They want their money quickly. They'll set these unrealistic deadline for exchanges and just keep badgering everyone involved to try and get it sorted. Esteban, and how long it took for the world to start recovering after the crash in 2008? I'd probably say for me, started probably 2010 when I started seeing things get better, like more mortgage availability. I think, and there was more people looking to buy. So sort of 2-3 years for the confidence to start coming back. And by 2012, that was when I started thinking of starting a family. So things must have been all right then. So yeah, I think probably 2010 would probably been the time it started to sort of sort itself out. So it was 2.5 years, 3 years before I noticed that things were becoming okay again. 2000, like that might be what I'm remembering. Right. I just want to go over what my mortgage broker has said. All right. It's not too long, I don't think. I've had a quick read through it. Where's it gone? Here we go. Right. Let's get that comment off. Can you see that all right? Hopefully you can. So this is what my mortgage broker has said to me. He said, please acknowledge that none of this response is any way to be taken as advice and purely speculation from a mortgage professional. So there you go. There's a disclaimer. First and foremost, don't panic. I totally agree. We are currently in a testing market with yet more concerning days ahead. This will not be the end of house buying and affordable mortgages, though. Current rate rises and lender reservations have been a result of the most historic recession, and similar fears been felt by previous mortgage generations. The current step back of a number of lenders is purely a knee-jerk reaction to the frankly aggressive Bank of England rate rises. I think they're needed to a certain degree. They are aggressive, but I think they're needed. Given the chance for the market to settle, these lenders will most return to everyday business. I do fully expect that high-risk cases, for example, high-level borrowing, income stretched, adverse credit, will be the last to return to active duty, but common sense lending will be readily available in the not-so-distant future. So what do you guys think of that? What do you think of what my broker's saying? We'll get back to normal. Try and get that back. There we go. Don't know how to get rid of that now. Remove. There we go. Yeah. So that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. There is some advice as well for some buyers who, some sellers who may be thinking, should we remortgage now? And if you do want to speak to him, you can get in touch with me, Lee at leeeverettproperty.co.uk, and I can get you in touch. So yeah, drop me an email. It's me. Bought my first house back in 2006. Rates sharply got raised to 6%. And I shifted myself, or something else yourself. Thankfully, rates stopped soon after the last decade or so. I was and still am on a tracker mortgage. Oh, wow, okay. I don't know too many people that are on a tracker. Let's on a tracker. Sorry, my watch is going nuts with things. Battery's gone. Louise, they have said to the seller that we've pulled out, causing unnecessary stress. They've also put pressure on us to complete by the end of September, which hasn't been possible either. Yeah, they're always like that. Don't worry, that's just standard stuff. Standard stuff. Lee, you'll need to start speaking quicker with so many people asking questions. I do speak quite quick, I think, anyway. So I sometimes think that I have to slow my voice down. Yeah, I might have to go a bit quicker. Thankfully, the outstanding balance has almost got. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Craig, in 2008, prices crashed and there was bargains everywhere. Lots of people had to sell as they'd lost their jobs. Some flats in Stratford went down 50%. People who just purchased was in a lot of pain. Yeah, I had a very close friend who got 120% mortgage, who couldn't keep up his mortgage payments and got repossessed and still owed them money because the flat wasn't worth what he'd borrowed against it. So yeah, thank God we haven't got those types of mortgages now. 2008 was the year I graduated. It was tough to get a job offer for me. I was successfully able to get a proper job in my field in January 2011. Yep, so started seeing things probably get better 2010, 2011. Thanks, Lee. Surely 95% mortgages need to stop. Also, some regulation on how much above market value new builds can be. Yeah, I mean, the 95% mortgages, that, in my opinion, they're going to be the ones which get taken away. So there's going to be higher loan to values mortgages available. I would expect, if I was a bank, I'd want to limit my exposure to people with negative equity. So I'd be looking for more deposit from people to not only insulate the bank, but to insulate the buyer as well, the client, from any shift in prices. Also, some regulation on how much above market value new builds could be. Well, they've done that in terms of the Help to Buy scheme, didn't they? They put a cap on how much the Help to Buy scheme could be used depending on where you live. If you start putting caps on house prices, I think that's the government interfering maybe too much in the housing market. If you start putting caps on what people can sell their own asset for, and I know they're doing it with energy prices and stuff like that, but they can do other things to bring money in and stuff like that. But I think it'd be a little bit too state controlled if they did start putting caps on new builds. I think, is it legal? Can they even do that? I don't know if they can even do that. It's me. There is like the end of the tunnel, however bad it seems. I think there are going to be some tough months ahead. But if you've got a house now and you've got your mortgage on it and you can afford your mortgage, then you know you've got a roof over your head. Your landlord isn't going to sell because you are your own landlord. You know what your mortgage payment is going to be for the next 5 years. If you've got a 5-year fixed rate mortgage, then you know for the next 5 years, which, if you had a crystal ball, we can guarantee what your mortgage payment is going to be for the next 5 years. You'd take it, wouldn't you? Knowing that you had that certainty. That's what I did. Then yeah. As the adage goes, this too shall pass. It should do. It should do. That is true of 2008. It was painful if you're overstretched before the fall. Yeah, this is what I think, as the mortgage broker just said, that the last mortgages to come back. And let me get that article up. Where is it? Oh, bugger. Where is it? Hang on. Which lenders? Right. Yeah. So I've got, here we go. This is from Money Facts, which a lot of media outlets, where have we gone? Get their sort of mortgage facts from. So I'm going to read the top bit here. So the mortgage market contracts as lenders react to volatile financial markets. Several lenders have withdrawn all or some of their mortgage rates as the pound slumped to a new low on Monday. I think it did finish higher today, I think. This has continued into Tuesday night, with the residential mortgage market losing 935 products in availability. This is the highest daily fall in mortgage products registered on Moneyfacts records. As of this morning, so Wednesday, the 28th morning, there are 2,661 residential mortgage products available. In comparison, on Friday, there were 3,961. So yeah, that 1,300 mortgage payments mortgage products have left the market over the last sort of 3 working days. So that's um, it's an interesting stat. But I think, as the broker thinks as well, that we're probably just going to be taking a pause, taking a breath, maybe bringing out some new deals, maybe structured differently, maybe with higher deposits needed. Maybe they're asked the government to guarantee 90% mortgages rather than 95 or even 85%. Liz Truss seems to be throwing money at certain people, don't they? So maybe they'll do that for the banks. Where are we? Just thinking now that whoever got help to buy properties recently are in higher risk as they are more likely to fall into negative equity with what's going on in the market. What are your thoughts? Anybody that bought the help to buy, their mortgage is based on, was it 80%? The government would lend you 20%. Or 75% because you've got to put 5% down yourself. So you've got that cushion because that is equity. You don't own that equity. You're paying the interest on the 20% equity. But if house prices drop, the amount you owe on your equity loan also comes down. So you're not the only one taking the hit. You are going to lose your own equity. You're going to lose that appreciation in house price, but also the money you owe. I think it's called Strike or whoever the equity loan company is, the amount you pay them if you have to sell will also come down. So now, if prices have dropped, so you've got a new build and and the Help to Buy equity loan, if prices drop and you can afford to remortgage to pay off some of that money, if the finances work out, speak to a broker, then it might be worth looking into. Spiritual Walker, welcome. I think you're new here or a first-time poster. Welcome to the channel. We've sold our house, subject to contract. We have not found a house to buy yet. Everything in the news. Are we looking to sell and buy at the wrong time? Our fixed-rate mortgage is due to renew December 23, currently 2.19%. Okay, so you're probably going to have an early repayment charge if you don't port that mortgage over to another property. Again, speak to your mortgage broker. It's the right time to buy and sell if you need to and you found a property you want to buy. Okay. That, I think, it's quite a broad statement. It won't be right for everybody, but if you need to buy and you're going to stay in your new property for the next few years, then do it. If you can find the house you want to buy at the right price. If you don't need to move and you're moving to, I don't know, change of area because you fancy a change or something like that, then that's entirely up to you. That's entirely up to you. You've got to do what's right for you. But the market is still better than 2019. There's still people buying. Prices are still more expensive than 2019. You could argue if you sold now at today's prices and you sit and see what happens with house prices over the next 6 months to a year, you might be able to get more for your money if house prices do drop. But if mortgage rates have gone up as well, and if there is the availability of mortgages that we would hope there would be. So you might find yourself not actually able to buy if you do come off the ladder and maybe put a pause on it and look to buy next year or the year after instead. I don't know. It's a possibility. Just as much a possibility that you won't be able to get a mortgage as house prices drop in 20%. So you've just got to make that decision of what's right for you. What are the general feeling amongst your current buyers? Actually, hand on heart, I mean, I did have a couple of days off last week due to man flu, but I don't want to talk about it. Us men don't moan about getting man flu, not too much anyway. But yeah, there's very little talk amongst buyers that I've experienced in people wobbling. I've sold properties to first-time buyers, investors, and home movers all this month, and we have rub outs as well. So when we book a sale, if a sale goes wrong, we rub it out of our records. We have a list of it. Okay. And we've sold well over 30, I think we're at 31 or 32 houses this month, which is our best September ever. And we've still got deals that we're hoping to tie up as well. And you'd generally expect those deals maybe 7 or 8, maybe to have a change of heart, change of circumstances, or vendor decide not to move or buyer decide not to sell. We've had 3 people change their minds and we've put a property back on the market, and we're still at 31 houses agreed at the moment. So there's not that worry there that I'm experiencing at the moment. Again, if that changes next week, I'll be letting you know straight away. Luco, welcome. Luckily got a 5-year fixed rate deal last month from Halifax. Excellent. Feel very lucky. That's what happened. Yeah. If you've got that, perfect. Maybe overpay as well. If you can afford to overpay without any penalty over the next 5 years as well, build that equity up. Might not be a bad thing. Ashley, how you doing, Ashley? You emailed me, didn't you? If I remember rightly. Offer accepted a week before this catastrophe. Got a 10-year mortgage, but now worried house might be downvalued or will end up in negative equity. Damned if you do or damned if you don't at this point. This is it. It's one of those, if you've been able to get a mortgage, which you've got a 10-year mortgage, which I think 10 years is a long time to stay in one property. So if you're buying that property, Ash, you want to make sure you're actually going to be happy there for 10 years, or at the very least be comfortable in paying any early redemption fee if you did want to change your mortgage or move out of that property and you can't take that mortgage with you. But at least you know for the next 10 years, providing you don't sell, your mortgage payment is going to be exactly the same. It's more security than what I've got at the moment. And negative equity only is a problem if you decide to move or if you have to remortgage. Doesn't matter if your house price drops in the middle of your fixed term. It doesn't matter then. It's where it is once you need to remortgage or if you need to sell. So you don't plan to move for 10 years, then chances are the property market will be absolutely fine and dandy in 10 years' time. Hey everyone, has the stamp duty land tax cut helped everyone? Good question, Cheryl. Thanks for asking. Very good question. I think a lot of people will. A lot of home movers are going to save up to £2,500. Investors are going to save up to £2,500 as well. So there will be a few people, and I know some first-time buyers that I've been making offers on, and I do have that offering service, guys. Which, if you are interested in, email me lee@lever@property.co.uk, where that higher increase in the first-time buyer stamp duty relief has saved thousands of pounds, 10, 12,000 pounds. That now that threshold is now 625 rather than 400,000. So if you was looking to buy over 400,000 pounds a first-time buyer, you're now going to benefit up to 625,000 pounds of no stamp duty if you're a first-time buyer, which I think is great news. Absolutely great news. Now about hands, I just survived 2008 with hard work and budgeting. No beer and nights out, unfortunately. Me at 25 years old. Yeah, I had a bit of that as well, unfortunately. Yeah, some boring nights in. Fitsum, how you doing? I believe the crash in 2008 was exaggerated by increased unemployment, high deposit required by the banks, and very strict vetting process. That's what we've got different this time. It's one of those where there's more people employed. The stress testing has been done for the last 10 years. Banks are better protected from people not paying their mortgages as well. So we're in a different market, but that's not to say the same things can happen. Jay, Clacton would be behind a crash as it's a bit of an older area and lots of people move there from closer to London as it's a bargain area. London is crashing now. Poorer areas are always slow to crash. Jay, I'm putting offers in on properties in London. My chains involve people moving from London and they're selling still, mate. I don't know what you're experiencing, but when I'm tying up a sale, I have to speak to the buyer's estate agent, whether they be London, Chelmsford, anywhere in the country, and they're still selling properties. Properties are going on the market and they are selling. So although we may be behind, it may only be a week or two behind, but I tied up 2 deals today where I had to speak to one estate in Chelmsford and one in, it was North London. I think it was North London. And their buyers are still there. They're still there. At the moment, that may change. It may change. And my area is also insulated because we have a lot of cash buyers moving locally as well. So I'm not going to say that we're not totally, we're not poor either. Come on. In my opinion, it's a must to buy and sell at the same time. Selling and waiting feels like a gamble. It is. And there's a way to risky given such a huge decision as the last few days have taught us things move far. Yeah. I think it is a risk if you're prepared for both sides of it, the risk and the reward, and you're prepared to accept whatever happens. Then if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But yeah, you've got to be prepared for the bad side of the coin as well as the good. As guys, if you can give a like as well, guys, to the channel, that'd be fantastic. Cheryl, so Chris is replying to Cheryl's question about the stamp duty. £2,500 reduction due to stamp duty changes. Excellent. Was going to be £26,000 before that. First time buyer, unfortunately, the house is over the new. Oh, blimey. So you're buying it over 625, Chris. At least you're saving £2,500. And Albie, my friend, he's saving over 10 grand on stamp duty. So that is helping. That is helping. Suman, hi Lee, what do you think about 10-year mortgages at 4.09%? If that's what your broker is recommending to you, then there's a reason they're recommending it to you. It's because it's probably the best deal that they can find for your circumstances. I can't advise on it. But if you've got an independent mortgage broker looking out for you, there'll be a reason why they're offering or suggesting this product. Okay, and listen to them because they are the experts. Chris, we took out a 35-year for peace of mind in payments, but plan to overpay quite heavily. Our student loans will both be paid off soon, so hoping to just dump that cash into the mortgage. Well, you're the first person I've known to get a 35-year mortgage. Oh, hang on, that's not a fixed. The fixed term's 35 years, is it? That's not. You're talking about the whole length of the mortgage, 35 years, which is what I've done as well. I haven't been overpaying though. I've been quite happy with my lower mortgage payments. Pilgrim, how you doing? Hi Lee, not sure if I asked earlier, but do you think the availability of mortgages will be reduced for people? I'm on a 25 grand a year and looking at about 100k mortgage. I'll be applying in January. I don't know is my answer to that. I don't. Sorry if I missed that. I do apologise if I missed your question. I don't know whether what's going to happen with the mortgage market. Halifax have said that they will be releasing or issuing new deals, hopefully by the end of the week. So Halifax pulled off their mortgages, which had a product fee. They kept all their other products on there, and they're the biggest lender. That includes Lloyd's as well. And they've said that there will be more mortgage products coming back, hopefully by the end of the week. So it seems like they've taken a break. They're assessing. They're going to see what's happening and then put out new products in the coming days and weeks. But something could happen, which means that it goes the other way and they withdraw more products. So it's a difficult one for me to answer. January, it's a long time away, 3 months away. It's a long time. A lot can happen, as I'm sure we've noticed over the last 5-6 days. A lot can happen, let alone to try and predict what's going to happen in January. Neil, how you doing? We bought a Help to Buy flat for £390,000, 2.25, and are due to complete an exchange, not yet done because we don't have an exact moving date. Got lucky with stamp duty, which we're expected to pay. Fantastic. So hopefully that money can go somewhere better than the the Treasury's coffers. It seems I've been in my little bubble for the last 2 weeks, just realizing now what's happening. A strange feeling when I'm exchanging contracts tomorrow. I don't know how to feel about it. You will have a home for however long your fixed mortgage is. That home will be yours and your mortgage payment won't go up. That's got to give you some good feeling that you have bought a property and you are secure for the next, hopefully 5 years, minimum of 5 years in that property. That's a good feeling. No matter what happens between now and 4 years' time, it only matters what happens in the 5th year when you need to remortgage or possibly move. All right. So don't try to think too bad. Oh wow. Oh, fixed for 5. Yeah, perfect. For a semi-rural property, is a septic tank survey advised? This is done as part of. No, I don't think a septic tank survey is part of the home buyers. So yeah, you may want to get somebody with a much braver sense of smell than me to get and do that for you, basic surfer. But yeah, I'd imagine there'll be many a company that'll be able to do that for you. Sure. Great, Shim. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. And I just want to touch on, I was meant to sort of recommend the solicitor that I've bought, the conveyancer that I've been using the last sort of month, 6 weeks. Next week, I will be putting something together in terms of this great conveyancer that if you are looking to buy a property, if you are looking to buy a property, that they will help the process go quicker and be very, very good at updating and stuff like that. So yeah, I will be putting that together. So if you are interested in a conveyancer with a £250 discount, the discount that I've wangled for you, then drop me an email, lee@leeeverettproperty.co.uk, and I'll be more than happy to sort of get that quote for you. In the meantime, if you have any questions as well in between streams, you can email me, and if I'll come back to you as soon as I can. I might start up a Facebook group if that'd be something you guys would be interested in. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments if that'd be of interest to you, and we will catch up again next week Let's see what happens in the next 7 days. I'm not sure whether to be excited or nervous, but we'll be back here 8:30 Wednesday, and we can go through it all together like we have tonight. Great stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please share, and I'll see you again next week. Have a lovely week.